Let's see, Brock Blanton. Kelly. Grant is going to be late. Laura. No. Jacob Horn. Jordan. Reese. Mendez. And here. Avery here, Emmeline here, Ryan Rakes, Anut, no, Madeline. Anut just walked in. Elizabeth Robinson. No. Jackson. Jacob Strunk. And Katie. All right. Before we start, I graded your chapter 3 homeworks. I think there are 4 of you who haven't submitted anything. It's still open, even though it says it's due. Just submit something so that I can grade it. I didn't do anything for this time, but this is not an exam where you just give me the answer. I want to see how you get that answer. Starting chapter 6 homework, if you simply give me the correct answer, but just as a number, that's going to count as 0, okay? I want to know how you get it. If I wanted to test your knowledge, I would have simply done another quiz, right? So, I mean, if you're not comfortable with Excel, just show me how you got it. And make sure that you're answering all the questions. I think 2 or 3 of you, 1 of you answered 5 of them, all correct. The other 5 blank. And when you, let me open it for example, just arbitrarily 1 of them. If the file is over here, make sure you go all the way to left and right and see all the sheets, okay? If you right click on this, it'll show you list of all the sheets anyway. And I let you submit it again, but you're creating too much work for me. And those 4 of you who haven't submitted anything, you can still submit. I'm not going to be this generous for chapter 6. All right, let's start talking about chapter 7. Stock valuation and markets. I think that's the name of the chapter. Remember, next Monday, the first half of the class, we're going to play Jeopardy on chapter 6 and 7. First things first, let's talk about valuation models for stocks. And the model we're going to use in this class is called the dividend growth model. Okay, it's easier if I handwrite. Takes less time. You remember bond valuation? Essentially, we calculated the present value of future cash flows from a bond. For bonds, that was easy, especially fixed rate bonds. We know exactly how much money we're going to get and when. If you know the timing and amount, calculate the present value of each and add them up. We will take a similar approach to stock valuation. Let's kind of get it started. Suppose we bought a stock and decided that we will hold it for 1 year. There are two cash flows associated with this investment. First one is similar to coupon of a bond. When you have a stock before you sold it, is there some sort of cash you get from a stock? Do they make you payments? Just don't know. If they are making payments, what is that payment? What sort of cash do you get from owning a stock? This is where reading the chapter before coming here helps. You get dividends. They are similar to coupons in its essence in bonds, but the difference for bonds, what coupon you're going to get is determined at the time the bond is issued. For stocks, it's a decision made by board of directors, decides on the timing and amount of dividends. So let's call this D1, which is short for dividends for year one. Okay. Since we're going to hold it again, we're going to hold it for 1 year. We're going to also get the resale price. Price at which we will sell the stock in 1 year. For simplicity, I'm going to assume that those dividends are also paid at the end of 1 year. Hence, cash flow from this investment, what's going on here? Oh, I must have hit that by mistake. Come on. And the price at which you sell it, we're gonna call it P1. Price for year one is P1 plus D1. Paid in 1 year. So I'm gonna call V0, V is short for value. I will get P1 over D1. I'm gonna discount that by R, where R is required rate of return for the stock appropriate for its risk. Not all stocks have the same required rate of return. You know, required rate of return for Google would be a lot smaller than required rate of return, for example, Delta Airlines. Or I can write this as D1 over 1 plus R plus P1 over 1 plus R. I'm going to call this PV1, where PV1 is present value of the dividend you're going to get at the end of year one. Sounds nice, but it's kind of a chicken and egg problem.